It's exactly 30 years after the Beijing Declaration where real conversations about women empowerment were made and some commitments were made. And so 30 years on, have we done enough? Well, Ghana has passed the Affirmative Action Law that seeks to, have the representation of women. And one woman who is pushing this conversation is Claudia Lumor. She's the founder of Glitz Africa, the organized awards, fashion show, and she's also ventured into politics as well. Welcome to Pause One-on-One.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Now let's talk about organizing this particular forum, Female Leadership Breakfast Forum and National Dialogue on Affirmative Action Law. What initiated this particular one?
Thank you very much. I think for me, I've always been a huge advocate for female leadership, female development in our country. And I know for years, women who were fighting for this bill, Affirmative Action Bill, and to see that Ghana eventually, we've passed this act, I felt like some of us who can bring women together to start engaging to make sure that the law wasn't just passed so we can say Ghana can tick it off and say, oh yes, now Ghana have an affirmative action law. But then I want to be part or bring policy influencers together so we make sure that we move into the implementation stage and we actually push policy makers to make sure that we actually see the implementation of it. And I think that was really what was pushing me. And we also know March is International Women's Month.
Right.
So for me, I wanted us to end the month with this conversation and to bring all the relevant policymakers into a room. So have the female, because it's something that concerns them. So bring all the female members of parliament, bring the judiciary, bring FIDA, who the leaders are the big champions when it comes to affirmative action, and then also the foreign female ambassadors as well to give us best practices, and also other female MPs from other countries to also give us best practices as well. So I think that was what was pushing me, and I believe that we had that great conversation in the room and beyond.
In your view, what would you say is the biggest challenge that women face in terms of leadership and representation as well?
I think, I mean, we can go back and say, our culture has played a big part when it comes to female women progressing, because maybe not from from our generation or even our mothers, our parents' generation, it was more or less push the man to go to school and let's show the woman how to be a wife or how to be a woman. Luckily for us, in this new generation, we've been able to push women to go to school, and especially having education as free at some point as well, also even increase the number of women who had access to education. So I think Ghana has made a lot of progress, but our culture didn't help in the past, and it still is an issue, especially when you go into our rural areas and all of that. So we have a lot of issues when it comes to how we can progress, not just even culture. Just people to understand that it's not a matter of just adding. It's like tokens, women being a token to add them to something to say, oh yeah, as a board or in the company, oh we are not just all men. Oh we have 2 or 3 women. Where it's not just we are not just a token to add to it to make it work, but really being intentional about it and also understanding that these women have something big to offer, and when they're given leadership position, how they work hard and how they progress and all of that. So I think we have a lot of challenges, but in the same way, we're doing very well as a country, but we just need to make sure that to the extent that now we have a female even vice president. So Ghana is doing very well. We are accepting women leadership.
I was going to ask, at what point would you say that Ghana has reached its peak of women representation?
I want reach. We are nowhere.
No, I mean, for you, what would be my
the yardstick here? I think for me, the act we've set up a very ambitious percentages or target for ourselves, where we want to get 30% across board and eventually get to 50%. So for me, if we can do the 50-50, that's the time that we can see that we've actually achieved what we are all hoping for. At the moment, if you even go through Parliament, we only have 40 women. We have 270, well, 76 or 76, seats in Parliament, and only 40 are women. So even from that angle, we are not doing so well. And even in cabinet, how many women are in cabinet as well? So it's about just 2, apart from vice president as well. So there's a lot for us to do in terms of leadership, and also when you come to our companies. But I think what is most beautiful thing about these actors, they're also going to be strategies to reward companies and people who are intentionally making sure they're going with this law. And I think that's something the government really need to push, because if government is, or leadership is acknowledging companies who are actually making a point to make sure that women are progressing and the numbers of opportunities they give to women to grow in their businesses are quite high, then we should acknowledge them. And if they do things like that, encourage other people to also go with that. So we have a long way to go.
Way to go. Would you say your upbringing has shaped your perception of doing things that empower women? Because I mean, from your Glitz Awards to the fashion, a bit of women inclined. How has that journey been? What really informed that trajectory?
I think, I mean, I'm not shy by saying that I'm a feminist. So for me, anything that progress and push women agenda, I'm all for it. I started with my magazine, which is mainly a women magazine. And by that, I got the opportunity to meet a lot of women that were telling their stories. And I felt like all these stories are not being documented very well. And for that reason, I brought on the Ghana Women of the Year honors. So we can tell stories of women that they are not the women on the social media that people know about them, but they are making really great impact. As I said, we have our own Oprah Winfrey in Ghana. We have our own Michelle Obamas. We have our own, you know, all these very powerful, strong women with all the challenges that we have in the country. They're really doing very well, whether it's in science, whether it's in education, whether it's in entrepreneurship, agriculture, all of this. We have very strong women who are leading big corporations with big staff and employing a lot of people, but who is telling these stories to make sure that we document them well. So young ladies who are coming up have people to look up to and say that, you know, this can be done in Ghana as well. And that's really been my calling. That's really been my passion through the magazine, through Ghana Women of the Year, through the Ghana Female CEO Summit. And I mean, the last 15 years, that's what I've been doing. And I know we've impacted a lot of people. We've got a lot of women to mentor a lot of young women as well. So yeah, we're humbled by the...
Have you faced any challenge that maybe made you go back and be like, okay, is there a way I can rechange this? Like, there I can do this better in any way? Because we talk about the fact that it's a male-dominated area. Everything is male. Do you face any challenge? Have you faced any challenge like that?
Absolutely. And I mean, I faced business challenge, which everybody will face, whether male or female. That's one side. But also because of, I always say that we all face challenges, but sometimes when you are focused on your purpose, you actually, it's either you don't see the challenges or you just rise above it. And I think that's really what I say, you know, push what I do. I have huge challenges. You know, there's so many times that I personally fund the things that I do, but it's because I believe in what I'm trying to do, and I believe in the purpose of the brand, and personally what I really believe in for leadership when it comes to women. So yeah, so there are always challenges, but I think that the end result and the impact that we are making as the Glitz Africa brand, and as myself, as Claudia Lumor as well, I think it encourages me to keep going. And yeah, so I think there are challenges, but you just rise above them.
Right, you ventured into politics a bit. What was the inspiration?
I think for me, I'll say that my purpose, and I always say, you know, I mean, I'm a Christian as well, and I really believe in everybody having a purpose why they're here. And I believe my thing is all about people and about impact. And I think with the work that I've done with my brand, and also to be a UN Goodwill ambassador for so many years, it gave me an opportunity to work with the less vulnerable people. And for me, politics is about people, touching people. And I've done that in so many ways with my brand and with myself as a humanitarian, as a UN Goodwill ambassador. So for me, what better other way can I do it by even touch more people? And true politics is when politics or leadership is given to the wrong people, for me, that's when the impact of it is bad. But when the right people with the right heart and the right focus is given that access and that power. Because I had a mentor who was telling me that, Claudia, with no power, political power, see what you've done in this country. So imagine somebody like us, if you had the political power, together with what you've done, the number of people, young people, women, children, youth that we can touch. So I'm not blind. I understand my purpose, I understand my calling, and I understand the number of young people who look up to what I've done in my journey. And I want people to love politics, because politics is life. It's part of how we're living. I want young people to understand that it's our future that we're putting in the hands of a certain group of people. Why don't I want to be part of that and to give my children the Ghana that I want them to live in? So, and especially when you have built enough maturity and enough strength and enough mindset to be able to do that, why wouldn't I want to serve my country if the country will give me the opportunity to do it? Great. So I think that's the reason. So you're going to contest again in the next 4 years? Well,
when we get there, we'll cross.
When we get there, we'll cross. But I know a lot of people, and a lot of people in my constituency, the chiefs, the traditional leaders, people that keeps talking to me, and women that, you know, even in corporate and business, I keep saying, Claudia, you're standing for something for young people and for even us as women, so don't give up and all of that. So when we get there, and I pray about it, yeah, fingers crossed, you might see me again.
Great. Now, for young women who look up to Claudia, there's a bill that has been pushed. I remember I was on an event recently, and then the Minister of Tourism was saying she wished she was younger, so that people like the Vice President will inspire her, and other people were inspired. But stories like yours and the platform that you've built, what would you say to young people who are maybe lost, although they've seen all of these conversations, but they really don't know how to navigate through it?
You know what, I will say it's hard. It's hard for a young person now, because when, I mean, well, I'm not that young, but I'm in the middle somewhere. Those of us above the 40s, you will realize that when we were in our 20s, maybe digital or social media wasn't as like this. So sometimes we shouldn't be so harsh on younger people by judging them, because when we were in our 20s, life on digital wasn't like this. We were not being bombarded with Twitter and what do you call it, Snapchat? I don't even know how to use them. Yeah, you understand? I've never been on X, so I don't know how to use them. But so we didn't have that much distraction. You know, we had the opportunity to stay focused more. What we had was television. My dad would make sure that we sit and watch 7 GTV news at 7, and we had no option. We bath and come and watch the news, because that's what. But now young people have all the news there, and there's so many things that impact what they do in decision making. So I understand that. So what I would want a young person that's listening to us is to be your authentic self. I understand that there's so many things that's distracting you from what you want to do because of the world you're in at the moment. But they're in there as well. There are people who you can watch them from afar and watch how well they're doing. The people that are showing all the things in the social media is what they want you to see, is what they're showing. Most of them going back to their homes and they're crying. Maybe your life might even be better than them, but they're giving you what they want you to see. So my advice is to try and be your authentic self. And it might be hard. And also to figure out, I mean, everybody has a talent. And sometimes I get young people coming to me, Claudia, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Which one should I go for? But you need to be able to assess and know that there's the talent that we just do for fun. And there's the one that we use to make money, the one that is going to help you develop yourself. So sometimes have conversation with people, but also they should have the heart to serve, and they should have the heart to be able to listen to feedback. Because sometimes when you're giving them the feedback, they think that you're too old to understand, that's why you're talking that way. But if you have the heart to listen, the mind to listen, and the heart to serve, then you know you will take it in well. Yeah, you understand. So that will be my thing, because people they will see you and think that, oh, you're doing very well. But for me, my heart and my purpose is all about serving. And when you have that, you'll be able to find your authentic self in what you do.
Fantastic. Now give us 5 ways of becoming Claudia.
Oh, 5 ways of becoming Claudia. Oh. Okay, loving God, loving family, being somebody who always wants to serve, because I have a heart of service. I serve to a fault. Humility, and there's nothing, I don't believe I can do anything without integrity. Who I stand and represent is so important for me. So integrity in business and in life is everything to me. I cannot be close to people who have low level of integrity. So for me, it's the biggest thing for me. And that is what will make people respect you. Yep. People will come back to you. I see people that I've met 10 years ago and they still love and want to come around me because I'm so authentic in what I am. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I won't fake anything. But if I believe in it as well, I give you my 100%. So I think people having a heart of service, integrity, family, loving God, and just being there for people when they need you is what really makes up Claudia.
Great. Thank you so much for
joining us. Thank you so much as well.
This conversation.
Thank you,
and wish you the very best as well.
Thank you.
My name is Gideon Nicholas. This has been Pause One-on-One, a special feature with Claudia Lumor. She is the convener of this particular initiative by Glitz Africa magazine, the Female Leadership Breakfast Forum and National Dialogue on Affirmative. Action law. I had to check the back for it. But thank you so much. We'll see you some other time.